Farm4Profit podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm4Profit podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm4Profit podcast.
Hey listeners, welcome back to the Farm for Profit podcast. Got Tanner, Corey, and Dave all hanging out with you today on this Farm for Fun episode. Kind of fun to get to the behind the scenes, the background of one of the guests that you've seen and heard on this podcast several times.
Yep. And we interrupt this harvest season to bring me into the studio to do this. Luckily, we're just on beans and we're close to the farm, so it's not that big of a deal. Dad and brother can handle it. I'll get there shortly after this.
That's right. Dave's busy too, out there making the wheels go round. Listeners, you are who makes our wheels go round. That really wasn't as smooth as I thought it was going to be.
It was better than some.
It was. And you do that by liking, sharing, providing us reviews on all the podcast platforms, subscribing to YouTube, and for sending us topic and guest idea suggestions. You can do that at farm4profitllc@gmail.com. You can also text us to 515-207-9640. Another one of the text messages that we
You don't
got.
have to just text. You could actually call. Sometimes Tanner answers.
You can.
But you can leave a voicemail too. And if it's good enough, eventually we'll play it.
Oh, I didn't realize we got 9 voicemails.
Ooh.
I probably should wait to read through those.
Probably
at least a
should
couple of
screen
times.
those before you just randomly pick one.
We got a question here from a texter that said, by the way, you mentioned states that listen to this show. What are those top 10 states that listeners generally come from? I responded back stating that as of this time, so this is the end of September 2025, from number 1 to number 10 is Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, Ohio, Nebraska, Indiana, Missouri, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Texas. So if you've been keeping score, Wisconsin was outside of the top 10, and they're back.
Yeah. And I want to give a shout out to our Switzerland listener that did an Instagram story and was amazing. My wife loved it. Rachel loved it. Tanner didn't see it. I don't know how he didn't see it, but it was awesome. He was in a John Deere tractor, putting up some hay, saying he is a listener. Had us on in the tractor. So
That's right.
thank you for that. Maybe invite us over to Switzerland for whatever you guys are doing for like a farm show, and we'll come over there. That'd be cool.
It would be very cool. Would you get a new watch?
Oh, Switzerland's kind of the place for watches, so I'd have to look at least.
And you'd have to put a knife in your check-on bag to bring back.
Yeah, you'd have to check that probably.
Couldn't carry it on.
Yep. So
Well, let's get to the guest. He's hanging out here in studio with us. What do you got?
today on the Farm for Fun show, we are back in studio. Early harvest, but it seems like mid-harvest because harvest came early. It's crazy. End of September, we made up with a guy that's not a stranger to the podcast. He's normally talking about nitrogen stabilizers for Corteva. But today, we learned the person behind the brand, originally from God's country, Decorah, Iowa. He's an ISU grad, and he is an outlaw in his family operation in southeast Iowa. Is he an outlaw, Tanner? Do you guys like being called outlaws if you're an in-law?
It's kind of a bad
And his full-time gig's a Corteva Nutrient Maximizer Strategic Account Manager. Please welcome from southeast Iowa, Mr. Andrew Luzum.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? Luzum?
Luzum.
Luzum. Oh, Mr. Andrew Luzum.
Well, what a good intro, Corey. Welcome to the podcast, Andrew.
Thanks for having me.
First time in studio.
Yeah, first time in studio.
Not first time.
Not first time on the show.
Yeah. Long time participant, first time studio or
First time meeting Dave.
meeting.
Yeah.
Day. Oh, yeah. This
that
will be
was-
great.
Yeah.
I mean, normally we're talking, what, nitrogen stabilizers?
Yes.
That kind of stuff, but not today, right?
Today.
Not much,
Not
right?
today.
This is a fun show. Like, we are here to learn about Andrew and not all the products,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So
Thanks for coming here because you could be somewhere else.
Yeah.
should be probably,
Probably should be.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Helping on the
We
farm,
all
doing other
should
things. Yeah,
probably, yeah.
exactly.
but you did just get done telling me you guys are pretty far along in harvest. It is September 26th as we record this,
Yeah. And Southeast Iowa has been moving fast.
and you're from Southeast Iowa.
So we live today on my wife's family farm in Southeast Iowa, but grew up in Decorah. Still farm a little bit there with my family as well.
How did you leave Decorah? Like, this is the most beautiful spot in the world.
Love will make a guy do some crazy things.
Yeah.
Harvest season is here, and so is your competitive advantage.
That's right. The Estes XPR3 concaves are a total game changer. Think one concave, all crops, no bands, no switching. From wheat to corn, soybeans, you're rolling non-stop. Backed by their patented technology with 250% more threshing surface, you get cleaner grain, fewer fines, and beast-level capacity, all without trading combines.
If you're interested, visit EstesPerformanceConcaves.com to upgrade your combine today. Estes XPR3, harvest smarter, faster, and better.
It's true. Look at Dave. From Montana to the
Right.
middle,
That was
the middle of Iowa.
The middle of
From mountains to just corn.
I was just talking with one of the other podcast hosts that recorded in this studio, and she met a doctor from Hawaii that is now a doctor in Des Moines, and she moved for love.
and now she's in Des Moines.
Why would you leave Hawaii? She actually said her life expectancy went down 7 years.
How does she know that?
She's a doctor.
No, I need statistics. Is she testing her blood? Have you ever seen that? You can
I
actually
have
test.
not.
You can test your blood to actually see how old you are. Like you might be 44 years old, but your blood says you're actually 35 or 55.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
I
have you
bet
seen
you-
like that NASA research now too, where they can test the particles coming out of your nose,
Oh.
like for health? So there's a company, an ag startup, I believe now, that's maybe out of Australia, that's actually able to do that for like pregnancy in cattle. They just hold it up to their nose in the chute, and within like 5 seconds or something, it's supposed to be able to read like the
That's how you
particles coming
preg
out of their
check.
nose, so they can preg check like faster.
That
Really?
would test really
Could you-
good on with the
could you
long
do
nose
that?
hairs.
I was just going to say, could you do that with Dave?
It's
I was
filtered. I want to do the blood thing. I'm telling you, I'm like 22. I'm like younger than you guys.
don't
I
know.
bet I would test
I
younger
bet
than,
you your nasal spray would say you're pregnant.
I would be younger than both of y'all.
What is youth?
Yeah.
Your brain, I think, would test younger than us for sure, because you want to do the slang words and do all the hip tricks like your kids are doing and all that.
I like to say abreast the situation.
But blood, I don't think that's gonna lie. I think that's gonna tell you how old you are.
It's like the ball in
Should we
basketball.
do it? Someone needs to tell
We
us.
need to do it.
A listener, can we do this?
Yeah.
What would it cost? But anyway, this is not about blood tests and how old we are. It's about Andrew. So you from Decorah, now southeast Iowa, roughly where?
Mediapolis is where we live now.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're not too far away from home.
It's a little over 3 hours.
I guess there's probably not.
There's no good way to get into northeast Iowa.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
3.5 hours to Decorah from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could be in Minneapolis.
You get 80 miles on or like anywhere up there, it's basically your 80 miles on 2 lanes. So
Did you grow up in town or out on the farm?
Nope, out on the farm. So dad always had an off-town job or in-town job. Mom was a teacher and then farmed on the side. My grandpa and uncles all farmed. So we were right there next to him, basically on the farm. And so yeah, that's kind of grew up just outside of town. Worked out great,
Which
actually.
direction from Decorah?
It's just south.
Just
We're
south.
like 5 miles south of
Okay.
town.
The south of
And
town.
what's the exact address?
I'm just south of town.
Have you ever been to Toppling Goliath?
Yeah, absolutely.
So airport Toppling Goliath would
Yep.
be the next gravel south of Toppling,
Okay.
basically.
As I say, north of town, especially northwest, you have the Upper Iowa River. Where
Bluffton and-
Bluffton,
oh, yeah.
So I always go up there camping, and
So that was like, I mean, you look at the opportunity I had growing up compared to Southeast Iowa today, between the trout streams, Upper Iowa. I mean, just there's so much to do.
yeah.
Yeah. So actually, follow Toppling on the blacktop there to the left. Yep, south. Don't dead end. Next gravel south or to the west there.
Cool.
So
Look at all the
come
terrain.
west. Yeah, and so that's just it, right? You look at maps up here and like look at all the contour farming we do with hay strips, and like that's a big pasture of ours there where your mouse is.
How far down to limestone?
Depends where you're at.
Really? Yeah.
It's pretty shallow though.
Yeah.
If you're especially some of those ridges, I mean, if you're doing deep tillage, you're gonna flake up limestone. So I never had to pick rock like what you guys deal with in central Iowa when you talk about like picking rock.
Yeah.
But if you broke a shear bolt on a ripper shank or a chisel plow shank or
Got
something
the
like that,
limestone,
yeah, guaranteed you're gonna go pick rock because it's you flaked up rock when it happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, our topsoils really aren't that heavy.
Isn't there a limestone mine somewhere over there?
Oh, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Quarries.
everywhere. I mean, you can see if you actually go kind of down left is even more
I drove over
family
there
ground
with my trailer.
But
to
you'll get
all limestone.
you get a lot of limestone quarries and stuff that are all right there around us. And it is unique. I mean, from a water quality health perspective, you talk, it's my job today, and it's probably why I enjoy my role as much today as I do. But you look at like southeast Minnesota and how the EPA had to step in on nitrates on wells in southeast Minnesota.
Yeah.
Like same deal here. I mean, they've tested a lot of our like streams that run through some of these pastures, and they've done those dye tests. It's really interesting, but like you'll have water running through a stream and you're like, oh, it doesn't actually go over there. And all of a sudden that dye will show up like 2 days later in a different stream. It's all interconnected up there, and that water will get, it'll go under, like we have some streams that they just disappear. Like they just will go down in a crack in the ground. And like you don't know where it goes. Next thing you know, it's like
Wow.
it might be popping up in the trout hatcheries, trout stream within,
What I love is they have all these, the springs, natural springs everywhere up there.
Oh yeah, and the waterfalls, but that's what it is, right? That water is moving all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
This looks like the feet of a gingerbread man.
Yeah. So like when people ask where I'm from, I always joke Nordness is where I'm from, not Decorah, but
And
Is this south of Decorah?
yeah, just south of Decorah.
Halloween is next week. All these terraces kind of look like the stitches on what's that? Hollow Frankenstein.
Frankenstein on his neck.
So they're from Nordness. If you come to the west, there's a rock quarry there. That's my grandpa's, like where the dairy farm was right here on top of that hill. Yep, with the rock quarry at the bottom.
So do you still do dairy? You're a row cropper?
No, so my grandpa and uncle got out of the dairy business, I think, in 2016. Basically, when I got out of college, they were like, yeah, we're not
Labor's
milking cows
gone.
anymore.
They're like, he's not going to work. We're not going to.
So, yeah, they've always had some beef cattle, but they just more or less expanded the beef cattle side of things when the dairy left. And, it's good or bad. You look at all the neighbors in that area and the little church we went to. Church always started at 10:30 on Sunday so everybody could get done milking cows to go to church, right? You look today, there might be one family left in that little church that is still milking. It's just...
Oh, there's still families left in that church. Just one.
Yeah, but nobody's milking anymore, right?
Nobody-
Like it's that small dairy business has really died. But yeah, so Lincoln Highway, people always think that that's actually a highway. So then you get, semis and everybody that's going down this gravel road. And if you crest the top of the hill at Lincoln Highway, when I was little, they took what used to be an old winding road down the bluffs and they just took a dozer basically just straight.
Yeah.
So, it is a hill.
Yeah.
The first time you ever go down that thing. So that was always like the running joke in high school, or even when I started dating my now wife. You took her over that the first time, and you just kind of let out a little squeal as you go over the top of it, like you didn't know it was there, and they lose their ever living mind. Because it is a hill.
How smooth is this intersection here? Because I could imagine if you're going downhill, and then
so you're actually coming back up by the time you get to the top. So it's that valley in the bottom, and I bet it's probably 60 feet in elevation.
You're on
Yeah.
Google
Top
Maps.
to
You should
bottom.
just make it 3D.
It's not the
That's
Lincoln
right, I could.
Highway. It's Lincoln Highway Road.
Yeah, it is a road.
Yeah, Lincoln Highway
Yeah.
Road.
Yeah.
Lincoln Highway. Huh. Yeah, it's such a beautiful area up there. So, where'd you go to college?
Iowa State.
You went to Iowa State.
Yep.
I think he was there after you.
So I would have showed up the fall of 12.
Yeah, I was done in 10. So, yep, a couple years behind me. Went down there, lived on campus, or
Yep. Lived in Maple freshman year,
Okay.
and then off campus pretty much the rest. Yeah, had a great opportunity, experience at Iowa State. It's ag's a small world, really, especially when you get around Iowa State. But yeah, I have nothing bad to say about my experience there for sure.
so is that where you met your wife?
Yeah,
Yep. So you were at that point, you knew you were never going back.
I wouldn't have said that by any means, but just how things work out. But yeah, we started dating. Would have been our junior year, more or less.
Is she an egg?
Yeah. So she kind of does, she works for a company called Novel Design. So she does like graphic design, builds websites and stuff for like livestock producers mostly.
Do you think that most people in college meet somebody else in their niche, or do they meet somebody totally random?
I don't know. I tried a lot in college, and I didn't meet very much. So I didn't have. I was always chasing.
You're always
I didn't really care at the time.
It is interesting though, like a lot of my wife and I's like good friends in college, how a fairly tight circle of good friends, but
Yeah.
how it's pretty much all coupled out.
They
and-
stayed together.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I went to a business school, so when you talk about did I meet somebody in my niche, I mean that's all AIB taught was business. So if you go micro niche like financial services, no, she doesn't care at all. But we still met at college.
I met mine. Maybe I was still like just getting done with college, or no, I was out of college. Out of college, but I knew her beforehand.
Right.
We went to high school.
Yeah.
She was just younger, so I never talked to her then.
So you didn't move back home. You
No,
moved
so
to the opposite corner of the state.
took some internships along the way, right, and kind of led one way or another. Started with Dow at the time, and my first job was moving to Illinois. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
And so I moved to Champaign, lived there, I think, for like total of 60 days, maybe. Took a different, or like basically was offered a territory right away. So I actually moved down to a little town called Hillsboro, Illinois, which should have been like an
Don't we know
hour
Hillsboro?
outside of St. Louis, basically.
No,
We know
Different.
Hillsboro, Wisconsin.
It was one of those deals that met a grower at a field day, knew I was kind of moving into the area, hit it off with him, and he's like, hey, I actually got this house. We keep a lot of machinery over there. And he's like, we've had some theft and some stuff going on, and he's like, we'll work out a nice rent situation with you if you just, keep eyes on the place and
Cool.
keep critters away. And so yeah, I moved into a little place in Hillsboro, Illinois. It was like a mile from the state pen. Dark as heck out there, so like you just be sitting on the porch and you're like,
Like
this-
that?
yeah.
Someone's gonna just come right
Yeah.
by that just jump the fence.
So worked that kind of geography in like southern Illinois for the first year. So I always joked that like growing up in Decorah, like I came from God's country, and I went to southern Illinois, and these guys were like, hey, son, if it wasn't for God, we wouldn't raise a crop. Like this is God's country. I'm like, you've got me. So yeah, moved down there, did that for a handful of years. Merger time frame hit. Still been dating my now wife at the time, and had the opportunity to actually move back to Southeast Iowa, but was covering Western Illinois.
So merger. This was when Dow
Corteva or Dow and DuPont came together.
and made Corteva.
Yep, that would have been 2018 timeframe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was selling seed for curry seed at the time, which was a Corteva or a DuPont
Yep.
brand, and then during that merger, got rid of that, went to Hogemeyer. Now it's Corteva.
So you still have the same job now that you had at a college, really? Just-
Slightly different.
just-
Probably a little more of a technical capacity in my
Okay.
role today. So actually, I did that role for a handful more years on the CP side, and then I actually jumped to the Pioneer side for 2 years in Southeast Iowa as like territory manager. So I managed agencies there.
Does everybody go to a seed company?
A lot of people in ag do. I mean, there's a seed dealer on every dang corner, it seems like. So it's kind of funny. But
That was actually a blessing for me because I like jokingly, I've heard you guys say like, you're the outlaw around the operation, like kind of am.
Yeah.
But it was great for me because it allowed me to meet, producers and everybody
yeah.
locally in Southeast. I kind of became one with the community pretty fast in that capacity.
Yeah.
So I did that for 2 years, right through COVID. So you talk about a weird experience too, right? Where
yeah.
normally guys are wanting to jump in combine cabs, and that first year everybody's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want you. It's like,
Let's
okay.
set up
I
a
guess.
seed sales meeting on Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right.
So I'll mail you the hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll mail you the hat.
So that was only 2 years. Why'd you leave that?
My boss now, awesome. She called me and said, hey, we're kind of starting up this team for the stabilizer side. We used to kind of have some people in that capacity and just merger, things change, management, So she said, hey, why don't you come join the team? And I said, all right, let's take a chance, do something a little different. I was kind of looking, not that I didn't enjoy the seed business, but it's kind of slow in the regards of like you get to sell a product once in a year,
Yeah.
right? And you work all year for like one sale versus, hey, like I keep it moving a little faster.
Not that you're not working other parts of the year, but
No,
a
it's
lot
just
more
you're working all year
scouting.
long for that one,
Yep.
that one sale versus, hey, let's keep things moving.
At least
So-
you have repeat customers.
You don't think you would have repeat customers in nitrogen stabilizers?
You wouldn't, but if you're in real estate, every time you sell one, then they probably don't sell it again.
Yeah, I mean, that repeat business, like that COVID year for sure. I mean, from a sales perspective and on the seed side, people were just like, just do what we did last year again.
Yeah.
Like just run the play again was
Okay.
kind of the,
It's like my football coach. We're gonna run it up the middle until they stop us. Yeah.
Until they stop us.
It's like there's
when they
times
stop
like,
us, we're going to run it to the outside.
Yeah, 30 trap, 31 trap, until we don't get 8 yards of play. It's like, okay,
There
fine,
you go.
let's do it. I mean, why mess with something that's working?
Yep.
Well, it's yeah.
I should be drinking out of my my different coffee cup,
Yeah.
Your antique.
my antique, yeah, because it's N-Serve.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh.
not a new product. I'll go get it. You guys talk.
I'll go get it. You guys.
So the
It'll
farm
hit 50 years this year and serve well.
yes.
Yeah, so
We need new
kind
coffee
of
mugs.
pretty dang
That was-
exciting from a Corteva perspective to have Pioneer hitting 100 years.
You remember at Corteva Field Day, that was one of the questions?
Yeah.
And I was like, I know this. It's 50. And whatever it was, I answered the wrong question. I'm like, it says right here it's 50 years. But I answered the wrong question.
I was asking, he asked the question about Pioneer and not N-Serve.
N-Serve.
Whatever.
Oh.
So he was only half listening to the question.
But I was like, I have it right here. Yeah. Then I was wrong. You guys
So you married into the family operation that you're a part of.
Yeah, so my
now?
wife and I live today in the original farmhouse that is her family story is actually a really cool story. So great grandpa lived and farmed outside of Burlington, Iowa, which the Middletown Army ammunition plant is stationed there. And I believe it was like World War I came in and they needed ammunition. And so they expanded the ammunition plant on the west side of town. So keep going west, Middletown technically. So it's just west of town there. So it got announced in the paper, and it was basically like the Army is acquiring government domain. Or eminent domain. They're going to acquire all of this ground within this ammunition plant. And they farmed and said ammunition plant. So I don't remember the exact days and time frame that they had, but it was like, yeah, you're right over top of it's.
That's all of it.
Don't quote me, but it's like 8,000 or 10,000 acres. It's of some serious size. But yeah, so basically it was like, hey, you guys have, I think it was like 6 months to find somewhere else to live. Which, when you have to pick up your entire business and move, it's a different deal. So my wife's grandfather was pretty young at the time, so he doesn't remember probably as much as like his older brothers now past did. But basically they found this farm outside of Minneapolis to rent, and there were some promises like, hey, we're not going to live here forever. I think it was still a dirt road at the time. Casey's great-grandmother was not excited about probably living where they lived. But you talk about total blessing. This ground and that ammunition plant is, I mean, it's okay, but it's relatively poor. I mean, it's probably upper 60s CSRs. And they moved out to the prairie where it was 90s and flat black. I mean, so not every operation ever gets that type of opportunity. So blessing in disguise that they were able to do that. So long story short, they moved out there to the farm, ended up settling, and decided one thing led to another. And
So your
they
wife's
never
family is all row crop?
left. Some livestock as well.
Some
so
livestock. Okay.
yep, they've got some hog barns, and then they also, my wife and her dad raised a lot of club lambs. So there's like,
Got it.
I don't know,
So
150
the club,
running around.
the club
It's a
lamb
lot.
is the equivalent to the show calf.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Why are they called club lambs? Why can't they be called show lambs?
It's a
Do
good
we-
question.
Good question. Yeah.
Oh,
I
there's
don't
no
know.
answer to that? All right. Well, that's Google.
Just terminology, I guess. I don't know.
Google's not
Well,
gonna
they say club
They're
calf.
they're just
too.
all yeah.
There's club calves, but then I think more cattle people take it past the club. So after FFA, after 4-H, they keep showing cattle as adults, like my wife does, as show cattle. I don't know that people show lambs into their adulthood.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
It's still.
Well,
a
then there
thing.
is show
Yeah,
lambs.
it's
Lambs-
show
lambs
lambs,
have
club
gotten-
lamb. I don't know, just general
I
terminology.
feel like lambs and goats have gotten huge in the show world.
I feel like lambs had a kind of a big run. I would say the goat thing is the hotter thing today,
Right.
than the sheep side probably. But yeah, she does. So it's kind of fun. They raise mostly it's all crossbred market lambs. It's kind of I've gotten into it a little bit. So my wife and I learned actually how to AI these things, which the AIing in these small ruminants is surgical.
Oh.
So
Really?
yeah, so you got to knock them out, flip them up on a cart, and you actually go in, make 2 incisions, go in the abdomen, and so you go with a scope, and then you find the uterine horns and breed.
Similar to chickens. I mean,
No.
Yeah,
No,
something like that.
You do have to fertilize the egg, though, Dave.
That is like a 60-day nugget right there.
there. Yeah, if you guys, whoever finds that nugget, Tanner will give you a hat.
So yeah, we are not licensed veterinarians, but you can do it to your own stock. So it's been kind of a learning deal for us, but that's something we've kind of.
What's the
Also been
club
trying-
lamb business? Give them a shout out. Give your website.
Kites are club lambs.
Kites
Yeah.
are.
Yep.
You got a website?
Yeah.
They do.
Where's it at?
She makes them for a living, man.
I know.
I'll get a
Yeah,
website.
yeah.
It's pretty bad if you do that for a living. You don't
Yeah.
have one for
So
yourself.
she's got social media and a nice
How do
KEITZER.
Oh,
there you
it
go.
is.
There it is. Ding dong.
It's because I was there once. Been there. Clicked on links.
Should we sit here and critique her on it? Like,
Roughly 160
Yeah, she'd
head.
love it.
Full width would have been better. I mean, it's more responsive.
Look, there you are.
Yep. So her parents, her dad mostly, and then yeah,
where's the lambs?
you got to go to the Not Our Story page.
How many times do you say Mediapolis and everybody thinks Minneapolis?
Oh, it's the worst. Like when you with customer service, and you're like
Yeah.
trying to say your address. It's just as bad as my last name. Like you say Luzum, and people are like, "How do you
It's
spell
just
that?"
one of those you just start spelling it before you even say how.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just yeah.
Cool.
There they are.
Yeah, she's had
Fur.
quite a few nice, successful years here
There's the
raising.
boots on that one. I like
Loiza.
Boots
Furry
with a
boots.
T.
So that's fun. I mean, she's got, it's clearly a nice little market for her in Southeast Iowa, but she's gotten more into. We've got some nice partners there in Texas. So it seems like every spring now that, she's got all these lambs sold and we got to go to Texas. And it's always like the second weekend of May. And it's like,
Oh,
Yeah.
there's nothing else happening this time of year
Right.
that would
so.
be of importance.
Yeah, my field advisor for pigs, Nick Enfield, has Enfield Club Lambs, and I feel like he travels all over. Heck, I mean, do you guys travel a lot for this?
My wife does more than me. I've kind of probably put my foot down more than that. But I mean, like, usually they'll end up going to Reno,
There's
Nevada
one.
a couple times a year.
Does it make money, or is it just purely like tractor pulling? Like, I love this so much that I'm willing to break even. Or
No, I mean, I'm not running her books, so I would say I believe she's making money. It's one of those deals that you're reinvesting so much back in
yeah,
to what's the hot new bull or
Well,
the
and I
next buck,
imagine-
right? It's just kind of a constant growth, and
she's marketing herself
Yeah.
as she's marketing her lambs, right? For
correct, and she's helping kids with feed advice and do
Yeah.
that. Like here's your regimens. What
So
you're
if
doing.
every kid on that page, there's one boy. How many of these show lamb showmen are women?
Oh, there's a lot. I mean, you can go back through. I mean, yeah, there's always a boy, but there's a lot of girls, and that's why originally, it says
I
on
think
there,
they're all
2004
girls, like,
is why Casey's dad
Girl,
got into
girl,
it. is-
girl, girl,
Well, they got
girl,
into
my-
it, and they're getting in so much
girl,
younger.
girl.
Yeah,
girl.
and so it like my father-in-law's thing was like in 2004. He had three
There you go.
girls, and he wanted to start a 4-H project.
Yep.
And he's like, I don't trust them to probably grab a halter and a 1,600-pound steer to
Right.
Yeah.
walk around on their own.
Yeah,
So he's like, that's kind of why he got into the land business, because he's like, I want them to have a project that I don't have to be there every minute for them to
yeah.
go walk them or
Yep.
do that project,
It
right?
used to be fourth grade you could get into 4-H.
Yeah.
And that's when I got into. I had a pen of cattle, and I could sit on my cattle. They were tame, but I still got kicked.
Oh, yeah.
in the arm, scrape my arm. If that would have been my head or something like that, or
Oh.
stepped on, it would have been terrible, right?
I remember being drugged down the driveway from a calf that
Yeah.
don't let go.
Don't let go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our kid does that.
Yeah, you just tired.
You're going to get back in the cattle business, you said.
I am.
That's what you said at the last
I
show.
wanted-
There's no better
I
time
think
than
that's
now.
good.
Yeah,
The present.
I at the high.
Yeah,
I at the
exactly.
high,
Interest rates are low.
They're going up.
Yeah,
It's going.
Get in.
God.
You got to get the infrastructure.
Yeah, they-
we need some setup.
What Trump or Rollins said that they do have the heifer retention program. I'll get in for more government money there.
There you go.
So how does she name these? I see father figure crossed with unicorn, hippogriff crossed with zoo creature.
So they're partnered a lot with like Middlesworth and Alan Newcomb out of like Oklahoma. So a lot of these are some of their bucks, but I would say when you get into the naming of these things, don't Urban Dictionary probably some of them. There's always a story somewhere along the way of how something got a name. It
I
seems
figured her
like
stud would be named Andrew, but
nope, not around our house.
yeah, I always find the naming a very interesting process.
So we've gotten to know this guy that raises a lot of the bulls that some of them end up in NFR or whatever. And his notes app on his phone, like if you ask him like, hey, like, you got some good names coming up. Yeah. And he's like, dude, you're rolling down the highway. You wake up at 2 a.m. If it hits, you just put it in the, throw in that notes app because like that's where they
I think
get
we
good.
need to start because we want to name some cattle, some bulls on Kavarek's sale.
Mhm.
I think maybe we should just offer that as a service. If you would like, we will come up with a fantastic name for your animal. Like you just like, I don't know what to name this one. Dave, Tanner, and Corey will come up with
Yeah.
a ridiculous name.
We promise it'll be better than naming them after ourselves.
Yeah, it won't be David, Tanner, Corey.
But it is hard. Like, I mean, if you try thinking of a name, you're like, you just struggle. But it just, it's got to hit you out of the blue. Is usually how you get a good name in this stuff.
Yeah.
But
There's a club steer. I think it was a steer that was Central Iowa, and it was called One in the Chamber. And everybody's like, how'd I get that name? Well, Dad was pissed at the sun one day, and he says, look, there's one in the chamber for you, or something like that. That's where it came from. So, one in the chamber. Somebody that listens will know the whole story, but yeah.
So
Made for a good name.
If Mama was ornery, I could see that.
Yep. So then your boss called you
Recruited. Sound like
and
you got
recruited you away from your Pioneer Territory manager position to this. What is your role now in this nutrient deal?
yeah, so basically, nitrogen stabilizer specialist kind of the role. So I cover Southern Iowa and a third of the state of Illinois, and
And
just
that wasn't
focus
a thing?
strictly on N-Serve and Instinct.
That wasn't a thing before?
So we had the role or similar role pre-Corteva merger or that time frame, and just when the merger and everything happened, it just kind of got shut down, or they decided to go away from that capacity. And the thing there is, I mean, in their defense, we're still selling the number one molecule in the business. So they just kind of took their eye off the prize, I'll call it. There was, with the merger, there's so many other distractions that it became management's more priorities, I guess I'd call it. And so after that, we've kind of they had a kind of a rocky road there a little bit, like after merge, kind of around this segment. And so they said, hey, we're going to bring guys in that just focus on this. And that's kind of what they did. So.
Meet Maya Cornheads, built better for over 40 years to power through down corn, high yields, and tough fields without flinching.
These durable, low-maintenance heads mean less downtime, less grain loss, and more profit per acre. They have the option for down corn attachments or direct-driven chopping. They ensure that your combine will move smoothly, fast, and full at all times.
Don't just harvest your fields, conquer them. Visit MayaCornheads.com to find the dealer near you. So, number one molecule in the business, but you just said you're getting ready for 50 years of N-Serve.
Yeah.
Has that molecule changed at all, or is it still the same?
Same molecule.
Same
It's
one.
nitropyrin. So it's kind of cool, really, when you think about the story behind it. I mean, we've been selling the product for 50 years. You think about, go look at a legal label and it tells you down to a 10th percent exactly what's in it, and there's no generic formulation of it in the marketplace. A lot of our customers will complain that it's hard to handle, which it is, but it's also really hard to manufacture. So that's probably what's buffered a lot of
The reason it's
why
hard
we
to
have.
handle is because it's corrosive. Is that what it is?
It's volatile. There's just a lot of characteristics behind the actual active ingredient that make it hard to handle.
Because it used to be put into like an anhydrous tank.
Still do a lot of it.
Still do a lot. But then people didn't like that, right? Because it kind of didn't it shorten the life of the tank?
Well, so it's 63% a solvent. So, what do you clean your oil paint brushes up with or anything like that? It's a solvent, right? It's a cleaner.
Yeah.
So the challenge is, like, when it goes in anhydrous tanks, guys will blame the rust coming out of those tanks. Well, it's that solvent is scouring the inside of those tanks. Like, I always joke, guys, like, what's an anhydrous tank made of?
Steel.
It's a mild steel tank. And you're putting what in it?
Anhydrous, nitrogen.
That's not corrosive at all, right? And then on top of it, every 5 years, they have to pressure test those tanks. So you know how they do that? You fill them with water and then put air pressure in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you scour water, or you get the water back out of the tank, and usually they don't get filled like right away.
Right.
Well,
Water, metal.
A little bit of
you
rust.
just got, and actually it's probably worse on like brand new anhydrous tanks because it's still a mild steel tank, but it might sit on the lot for a year or two and nobody ever, and then getting those into circulation, like we'll scour rust out of those tanks.
So really, they should be paying you for cleaning the tanks.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. New business.
But like guys will always say too, like, well, if we're always scouring this much rust out of these tanks, like, what's keeping these things together? And I'm like, yeah, but it's no different than, you're washing your clothes and the dryer's always full of lint. Like, how do you have clothes
We
left
just
over by the
copy
end of
this
that?
product and call it Rust Serve.
That's why they pressure test them, and then I mean, like even on like LP tanks, like they will do like scans and stuff, like won't they? Of those?
Yeah, they can do like
to
X-ray
get-
and different
to
things
get
with them
data.
now.
Have you ever tried to weld on like a propane tank or a
No.
like cut into them. Like it's a little nerve wracking at first. I'm like, all right, there was propane in here.
I cut one up for steel one time, but I made sure the valve was off and like if it's open.
They fill them with water to get rid of all the gas in there, like almost to the top. I'm like, all right, it's time to cut this thing. So get the torch out. You put the torch on it, and that first, until you cut in there, it's a little nerve wracking.
Yeah. But now, I mean, every time I see N-Serve, it's more of an injection tank that's on the bar.
Yeah, so that's probably the more preferred way, just because you're avoiding coolers and all the equipment before that application. So, injection is probably the most preferred method
and then
today.
You
but
know what you're getting too, right?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, right?
You're not the one usually filling the tank. Did it get in there? Did it get in at the right amount?
There's always that risk, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, injection. I mean, there's just a lot more simplicity there on the injection side. Plus, there's guys doing different things today with, some variable rate stuff and different things as well. So you can do all that with the onboard injection where you can't if it's just going in the tank.
Yep. So is N-Serve still the one that you talk about most, or is other things come onto the scene that you're?
So we also sell Instinct Next Gen, which would be an encapsulated version of nitropyrin. So water-based, it wouldn't have those, corrosion type sediments with it because it is a water-based formulation. We just can't.
Encapsulated.
Yep.
So is it like a pill that you take with the capsule around it?
At a microscopic level,
Okay.
right? So like if you actually took a little bit of Instinct and put it on a slide underneath the microscope, you can see little
I think they
capsules.
should call it nitropyrin. That's a way cooler name than
Like a
N-Serve.
shell around the egg?
So what is that process to encapsulate it?
So it's in the manufacturing process. It's like in a centrifuge and they run it like really, really fast. And that's actually how they can get like a capsule built around that molecule. So it's the same encapsulation process is actually used in a lot of different herbicide formulations. I mean, we sell encapsulated acetylchlors, like Full-Time, Resicor, Rev. Some of those other products all have encapsulation as well. So it's just a way to do that. The biggest reason is nitropyrin itself is surface volatile. And with the volatility aspect, like we can't put N-Serve with urea or Instinct and spray it on top of the ground because it would literally volatilize.
Yeah.
So that's why it's in a capsule.
Speaking of encapsulation, I have a fun fact for you guys. Do you know how you encapsulate ice cream? It's Dippin' Dots,
I was going to say,
right?
yeah.
Do you know where Dippin' Dots came from?
I do not.
It actually came from the cattle industry. In 1988,
Were they freeze branding?
microbiologist Kurt Jones in Illinois discovered this. He was trying to preserve bacteria cultures in cattle feed, and he realized he could do the same liquid nitrogen freezing method for ice cream.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, so we had some Dippin' Dots. We had our kickoff this week. So there's actually a photo floating around from me yesterday pushing Dippin' Dots around the office because I had
really?
leftovers yesterday afternoon. Yeah, so I was peddling them. It's actually harder to sell free ice cream than a guy thinks.
Really?
It's harder to sell free ice cream. Yeah, everybody's all
I don't know how I
health-
feel about it. Like at first, when it comes out, I feel like you got to let it melt a little bit because
But they don't really melt.
No,
They don't. Like I've sat there too, and it doesn't really.
But my God, anytime we walk by it with my kids,
I was gonna say, my kids love it.
have
We gotta have it. Yeah.
it's that and the shaved ice.
Cone ice.
Yeah,
Ugh.
jeez.
I'd rather have Dippin' Dots.
Oh
all day
yeah,
long.
yeah, absolutely.
So what'd you do with all the leftover Dippin' Dots?
Yeah, so I was just peddling them up and down the office hallways yesterday afternoon. And like I said, it's harder. Yeah, everybody's home on a diet, or
Yeah.
there's always a little room for a little ice cream in the afternoon.
Is this in Johnston?
Yeah, so we had our kickoff for the Western commercial unit there in Johnston this week. So on the CP side
I
of
was
the
gonna say, I
crop
don't
protection
imagine
side
you
of things.
drive to Johnston.
So
every day.
the joke was why we did Dippin' Dots. All good ideas start at a bar, right? Was that how do we get Instinct on urea? Well, it's like treated urea was having Dippin' Dots. Was
Yeah.
kind of the
Oh.
so that's why we
and
got
now you
Dippin'
can use
Dots.
it for the encapsulation process because
Yep.
of
See,
my fun fact that I told you. So now you can use Dippin' Dots in more than one day.
Yeah, tying it all together.
They're just gonna have a Dippin'
What
Dots
color
machine in the
is
store.
Instinct Next Gen?
Technically, it doesn't really have much of a color.
Clear.
Yeah, it's more of a white. So when it goes on urea, you don't really see it. Some people put like coloring with it
dye,
to make it look like a color. But for like some of our competitive products, it's probably more coloring than it is AI, right? But it makes everybody feel good when you see
It
that
is
pretty
visually
color on it.
appealing,
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
It's
ah,
like
it's
seed
on there.
treatment.
There
If you
it
sold
is.
a transparent seed treatment, everybody's like, "What?"
That's fair.
Yeah. So
I still think somebody should make a black one.
Why?
You get to put your black seed in the ground.
Black seed.
Wouldn't that
You know
be
how hard it'd be to dig those
Yeah.
up behind the planter?
Terrible.
You'd never find them.
cool? It would. You have to trust your planter.
Why haven't we gone to like fluorescent though? Like it glows.
Black light.
That'd be kind of cool.
There you go.
You think they could put a coating on it that you
Sparkles.
could take a camera, not have to dig it up, but you could see it like an X-ray?
Oh, why not? You can find tile in the ground.
Yeah.
You know,
Just put flakes of metal on it and
Yeah,
beep,
put
beep,
flakes
like
of
it.
metal and then just
or just like
metal
X-ray
detector. Beep,
vision.
beep, beep.
I mean, deer's already got a camera that can see like
in the furrow.
in the furrow, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they could see it after the furrow.
It's a great idea.
Man, we can't release this episode. There's way too many
Dude,
good business
we
ideas in
can't.
it.
We've got less than 30 days to get these rolling before everybody else in the public
Dave, get on it.
hears
Get it.
about them. Oh, we always like to play games when we have time with our guests. We're gonna play Would You Rather.
Oh boy.
Hopefully some easy ones for you. First one, we're sitting in the fall. Would you rather run the combine or run the sprayer for the entire season? Not just a day. Would you rather be stuck in the combine or stuck in the sprayer?
It's tough.
Combine's way shorter window, isn't it?
They said the whole season though. So like I'm thinking growing season, or are you just thinking like harvest season?
The season that you're in.
Sprayer would be more fast pace.
Yeah. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, the sprayer you're in and out of the cab a lot more too. Combine, you're usually up there and parked.
You're stuck.
So,
Yeah.
but I'll say the combine. I do enjoy the combine. You get to see all the crop come through. See, it's the finale of the year, right?
So we got a combine.
I go combine.
I'll go sprayer just because I like going fast.
That would be Dave's answer.
Go fast and wreck things.
I would go combine. I like to see results.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you frame a house, you see the results happen. quicker.
Sometimes you don't want to see the results.
Would you rather, moving on, attend the Iowa State Fair or your county fair?
Ooh, good question.
My wife will be upset at me at this probably, but I do love the Winnebago County Fair. Shout out to them, but like they're the biggest little fair in Iowa. They do a really nice job. I don't know. It's just, you grew up around it. The state fair is unique in its own, but I'll probably say the Winnebago County Fair.
Where's Rachel's fair? What fair is she?
Monticello?
Monticello? So what county would that be?
I don't know,
Delaware.
but she has like huge concerts all the time.
I thought they were the
Be
biggest
Delaware
little
in it.
fair.
Delaware, Benton.
It's Delaware.
County. Yeah, Delaware.
And they do get good concerts. Winnebago County also has been
I
getting
would
good
say for
concerts.
me, I would go state fair, and that was just because my county fair was the Polk County Fair, which is at the state fairgrounds, which is in this sheep building. And for some reason, they would never do rides. They would never do concerts or anything like that because they said they felt it would take away from the state fair. I'm like, how? It's in July.
So this is deceiving. It's the
Jones
Jones County Fair. but
You're
it's
in Texas.
It is
County.
Jones, but yeah, that is not.
Monticello is a city in Jones County, Iowa, but
Yeah,
it's got a picture
Jones
of
would be-
Texas.
Yeah, Jones would be right.
Wikipedia. Someone got a.
That's funny.
I don't know that that's right.
Trust AI, guys. Trust AI.
That's right.
That's not even AI. That's just Google.
It is the Jones County Fair because I do remember her talking about that, the biggest little fair. All right, ready for the next one?
Well, you didn't say which county. What would you go to? County fair or state fair? And Dave didn't either.
The Story County Fair is kind of boring. They don't
Yep.
do a ton for entertainment, so I'd go
I'll pay
state
for
fair. No, it's very 4-H and FFA
It's
focused.
very
which is
livestock based.
Yeah,
which is great.
that's
it
same
has
with
that.
Polk. Same with Polk.
Yep.
But I grew up at the Cherokee County Fair to where we'd have like the demo derby and you'd have the rodeo one night and you'd have a couple concerts.
Yep.
And they didn't have to be huge, but you still were there all day because you stayed for the
Yeah.
evening entertainment.
We don't have that. I state fair all day long.
What I
Same
thought was
thing.
cool, I went to Polk County Fair this year, was so we had rabbits and chickens and cats and whatever, like when I was there, but like there was this little row back in the corner. They had a whole section for that stuff.
Yeah.
Tons of rabbits. Way different. They had turkeys. I mean, we never had turkeys.
Oh, there's a ton of rabbits at Story County Fair.
You
but
know,
they're-
like
yeah.
so they have a lot of like people like there's FFA and 4-H in Des Moines that they're getting a lot of the inner city kids that don't have access to farms and teaching. I think that's really good.
I think you'd be surprised. That's more counties than you think
Yeah.
are that way now, just because it is that easier project for a kid to be able to do.
Well, didn't you have kids do projects that were not like livestock based?
Yep, we did plants and woodworking.
This
And yeah, actually
Yeah.
Cammie made the stand for our mic holders
which
here.
we just were doing that to like we figured we'd have to make it out of metal or better wood, and actually it works really good.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was, what did I say it was? It was like a $2.78
I think it's
or
like $7, but
Yeah. Because they got to do their cost of the
Yeah,
woodworking
sure.
project. And here it was super cheap. 2 years ago, my daughter made a picture frame, just made a frame and hung strings from it for a graduation picture display. And she had no costs in that because her dad already had the lumber in the garage. Her dad already had the string, and everything else was.
Are you gonna be that dad with like, I need a 17-inch 2x4 and like I have it from 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
yes. Oh no, he absolutely is. He's got a barrel
Yes,
of them.
I have it.
Anytime I have a woodworking project, I just bring Tanner my scraps, and he just takes them.
All right, one more. We'll do. Would you rather never have to change a flat tire again,
Ooh.
or never have to clean out a grain bin?
Ooh. I've got to the point in my life that I don't change flat tires. I usually just take it off and take it in to get fixed. I do not like changing them.
Yeah.
I mean, I would on the side of the road, but I don't. You don't have to do that very often anymore. Now I will.
Yeah, you just jinx yourself for eternity right there.
This is real ash, so good to knock on wood.
What was the other one?
Clean out a grain bin floor.
That's pretty easy with Suka paddle sweep. So
So you're never going to change tire
I
again.
don't have to do either of them. Yeah.
Andrew?
Tire's pretty quick and easy, so I probably say never clean out a bin again.
Yeah.
But you always clean bins out on the hottest day of the year, and
100%.
so probably take a tire.
And it's probably a lot safer to be outside of the bin.
It was greasing all the bearings on the leg and the drag, and we took the cover off of the drag, and
Gross.
that was disgusting.
Soybeans that don't
It
longer look like soybeans.
It was correct. It was almost
Yeah.
unidentifiable what was in there. It was getting kind of close to the bearing. Didn't want to end up jeopardizing something running in it, so we scooped some of it out. I still think I can smell it.
It is crazy how moisture gets into everything, even if it hasn't rained. So we put our 13-inch auger up that was clean, ran 240 acres of corn, and then we wanted to use it for beans, but seed beans. So we had to clean it out and do all that. So I was cleaning it out yesterday. It has rained 1/10 of an inch at the farm since we started harvesting. That's it. That is it. I opened up the bottom sump, and there's corn stuck down there, and water starts running out. So it's like condensation or rain or something. I'm like, where did this
Raccoons were
come
having a
from?
party in there.
And it was already starting to go bad from 2 weeks of harvest.
We finished chopping earlage on Monday. Yesterday we went to blow the corn head off to take the rental back, and the corn had already sprouted in between the gathering change.
Fertile stuff.
That was wild.
That is interesting,
Yeah.
We can also see
especially
the
for
corn.
high moisture.
Yeah, we can also see the corn that was on the ground sprouting too. Kind of makes you hurt a little bit inside.
Right?
It's just a cover crop.
That was 4 days.
Should get credit for being, especially on soybeans and cover crop. Yep, that's just a winter terminated cover crop. It's growing.
Yeah.
That's good. What did we miss anything about, Andrew?
No, man, what you see is what you get for the most part.
So the hobby's farming, or are there other hobbies?
I'd say the hobby is farming. Yeah, my wife and I own some rental properties as well, so I spend a lot of time repairing somebody else's.
So you buy it, fix it up, then rent it out, or
No,
like flip, or no?
these have been more of a buy and hold
Buy and
situation.
hold.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got into that business in 2019, I guess. So we've got 19 doors.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of our other hobby, I guess.
So you got the, what do you call it, the 3 T's?
Yeah. Tenants, turmoil, and
Toilet paper
Termites?
stuck in your toilets?
yeah.
Termites?
The amount of stories, I really should do a better job taking notes of like the turmoil, because I write a book, and I've only been in, like, so we get in 2019, so we had a COVID, but oh man, the stories they're endless when it comes to rentals.
It is. Tanner and I owned one right down the road here, and it was the first week they plugged the sewer system, or plugged the toilet sewer line that goes out to the city twice in the first week.
Yep.
Like, I was like, how? Like we've
Oh,
never
I
had a
did.
problem. New tenant, all of a sudden, oh my God. Well, our kid, your kid's shoving so much toilet paper down the. Yeah.
And toys and everything else that goes with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So do you follow any good follows on social media for that side of the business?
So part of what got me into it was I started getting bigger pockets, which if you guys ever listen to their stuff, they're massive in that rental space. So that would probably that got me kind of going on it because it was one of those deals. Originally, why we got into them was, you're young, had a good job, you start making a little money. You're like, all right, what are we gonna do with this? And at the time, it was like, I'm not gonna buy farm ground that won't cash flow itself. Like let's buy into something else that can make cash flow. And the goal was always, hey, I'm gonna 1031 these things someday and go into farm ground. Well, at 1031 law, it's a little tougher today with commercial property and how that all works, but I got down that bigger pockets, rabbit hole. Those guys hit it off because I think they bought the majority of their properties like 2008, 2009 timeframes. Like they couldn't have done any wrong. Hindsight, we're lucky enough, my wife and I bought our first farm last fall, but, hindsight, I wish I probably would have just bought the farm to start with in 2018, 19 timeframe because the values have only just gone up even since then, right? The appreciation. But I guess I can't complain because the values on probably the rental side of things have also, followed suit post-COVID. Seems like couldn't have done anything
And you got
wrong,
passive
but-
income, which is good.
Right.
Is it passive?
I think so. After you get your
You
tenants.
just talked about all the turmoil.
It comes with its set of headaches for sure. I call it hazard pay. It is passive income, but it's hazard pay, right? Like you're going to deal with the headaches.
Those opportunity time purchases, coming out of the 80s, buying farmland when it went back down, and people that bought houses in 2008 or bought houses in 2018, 19 when interest was low and building prices hasn't gone up. My wife and I have looked like there's so many people that own lake houses. Like we don't camp, we don't do this. It's like maybe we could go an hour away and buy a lake house. Holy crap! Everyone, it is. It's
COVID, everybody bought a lake
it's like
house.
3 times the money.
Yeah, like we just went to northern Wisconsin on family vacation a couple weeks ago, and around that lake, I remember like growing up as a kid, you could have bought a cabin for $150,000, pretty easy.
Yeah.
And now every house that's listed around that lake is like $1 million. You're like,
And they're
crazy.
a lot of
happened?
them are not worth.
no, there's still a split level house from the 80s that has not been updated. And it's listed for $2.2 million when we were up there, and you're like, but they have the location, right?
Yeah.
That's
So like
90%
everyone
of
that
it.
I know that owns a lake house bought it in that 2008, 9,
Yeah.
10, whatever time frame when just things were in the crapper, and followed appreciation up. So like when and where is our next buy? That is.
See, it's just funny though, because like in 2019 when we bought these, like we bought them because it was going to be a nice investment, whatever. But I didn't anticipate them to do what they've done since then, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so it's hard because
you
to be
can't-
futuristic, you can't see
Can't
it,
anticipate
but
COVID or Ukraine war.
you just gotta
or
get
anything
in,
like
right?
You
that,
bought
but-
some Labubus the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got a 6-pack.
they go up.
They go up. I don't think it's stuffed animals going up. Look at the Beanie Baby revolution.
Yeah.
But no, the girls like them.
Yeah. Do they?
Yeah. They got 2 on each bag.
Creepy.
They are. But I truly want to figure out what the next thing is because it doesn't feel like there is anything.
Oh, there is. 100%.
There is. But like that's what was getting kind of excited about this downturn in ag. Like
Well,
everyone's
you
doing great.
already
right?
did it. You got in podcast before podcasting was cool.
I guess, yeah. But I'm always looking for the next thing. But what I'm talking about in ag, like we were going down to the point of, which we don't want to see ag down, but like there was going to be some great opportunities. I know there was.
oh, I'm with you. As a young guy, it's like I hate down prices, but I love to see down prices, right? Like let's create some opportunity for
Right.
us as
Let's
young
weed
guys,
out
right?
some of the people that, maybe someone decides to retire now instead of because it was so easy at $7 corn that I'll just do it for another year or whatever. Maybe some people that aren't doing it the right way, they go away. Not provides opportunity. Now Trump's looking like we're getting some payments now, and it's just
Buy
gonna
everybody
bail
back
everything
out. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, and so that's not the way. Like, I want to see farmers survive. I'm gonna get ridiculed for it, but like, we do not want to live in a payment society from the government. So we just want to make it on the free
You should have
markets.
gotten in cattle about 6 years ago,
Yeah,
and then you would have been doing well too.
No crap. Yeah.
Yeah. Having a nice little cow herd right now would be fun.
Yep. That's why Rachel's buying chutes and fencing and whatever. Yeah, she's just doing well.
Yeah.
The real question though is: are cattle ever going to get high priced enough to like seed all of southern Iowa back to pasture land?
It's got to be getting close.
I don't know. Nobody wants to put a fence up anymore, right?
Yeah.
That's the
That's
thing.
true.
We've all torn the fences out, or the fences that are there are junk.
Right.
But you don't need fences now. You can just
So that's why, I mean, it makes me laugh that like Trump's got his headlights set on, like high beef prices now. And it's like, actually, we should probably let these things keep going and have more feed demand in country. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it'd be that bad of a thing to seed it all back down and have more cattle.
Did I tell you guys I almost cut my leg off yesterday?
Yeah.
Did he
He
tell
told
me?
me- he
Was
told
I
me.
supposed to listen?
No, I was on the phone with.
I know we were. We were building.
You
fence.
were on the phone while he was
boy.
cutting his
So
leg off?
we're building fence, but I got all these trees that are in the fence line, and so my wife's like, I want that dead one, that one, and we're redoing cattle fence for my wife. And sure enough, I look down and my jeans are just tore, and there's a perfect line of blood right across. That I must have hit the chain somewhere with the chainsaw.
I see you got a
'cause
little scar
it's-
going there, yeah.
it's literally just straight across. It's not bad today,
It's a
but
scratch.
it is exactly the width of the chain, and so I must have just grazed my leg a little bit, but
Yeah,
I didn't
called
cut
him.
it off.
I called him to see how his lawyer event went because I wasn't able to make it the other day. And I'm just cutting trees. About cut my leg off. And I said, "Oh, that doesn't sound like selling farms."
No, it wasn't yesterday.
On
The
a-
wife
on a
had to make
Thursday.
her happy, but we're putting in fence. That was what cued
Sounds
me
like
in.
a weekend job to me, Dave.
This it'll be done this weekend. Yep.
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 That's good. Well, I appreciate you hanging out, coming up
No, it's been fun.
to see
Yeah.
us. This was more fun to do in person, and it was more fun to talk about than just pure nitrogen stabilizers. We'll still pick your brain in detail in season for that, but it's always good to get to know the people behind it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wait until its soil is under 50 degrees and going lower.
Yep.
You're anhydrous.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be a big fall for anhydrous for sure. I mean, look at the nitrogen price today. I mean,
Ugh.
there's more guys that I've talked to that said, like, guys have gone away from anhydrous and gone more spring solution-based programs, and now they're like, well, I think this might be the year we're coming back.
You should click on their website. I just had a thought, random thought here.
You
But
can't
every time
talk
there's
about the same listener review
no club
2
lambs.
episodes in a row.
See, all these people, they're stabilizing the lambs, right?
Yeah.
See?
I wondered that.
This
Why
is the stabilizer business.
Why
Yeah,
do they have
exactly.
to stand like that? It's like, can't you just hold the
No, you gotta like elongate their loin.
So you get them braced up between the loin, but you also want them to be hard handling, right? Nobody wants in the lamb business. Nobody wants a fatty lamb. You guys ever eaten lamb?
Yeah, lamb burgers all the time.
I
Lamb
have
chops.
I like Euros.
State Fair.
Sure. So that stuff's all good, but like if you get like a really fatty piece of lamb, it'll turn. I think that's why people have a bad perception on lamb is because like if you get a really fatty piece of lamb, it feels like you took a bite of wool.
Yeah.
Like it does
Yeah,
not
I have
taste
had
good,
that.
right? But like in a
Why should
burger,
we know
like,
what wool tastes like? But we do.
but you do.
But
like
you do.
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
You lint eater.
when I milked a goat, I was like, that tastes like wool. Like warm goat milk.
You milked a goat.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It was North Polk FFA used to take care of the Avenue of Breeds at the state fair, and there was a guy like we always got milk donated to us from Anderson Erickson.
Yeah.
So we all had those little 2% little
Yeah.
milk jugs in the fridge, and one guy, well, there was only enough for like 2 per person, and one guy was just drinking like he loves milk. My buddy Jerry, and we milked a goat, and we opened one of those ever so slightly, and because he always grabbed the top one, and so we milked it, and we put it into that jug or that little carton, and we glued it back shut and put it on the top, and we just sat there and waited. I don't think it got cold. He went in there and grabbed it, and just, it's just right back out. But we did try it before we put it in there. 'Cause
Okay.
we had to know what it was going to be like, and it tasted like wool.
Some random goat you milked, like the
Well,
neighbor had-
it was a goat that had a little kid. Is that what you call?
Yeah.
A little kid there
Yeah.
with it, and so we just went and milked her and right.
threw it in there.
Yeah.
stabilizing
was
all
gross.
of them.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of funny. My wife, we had a couple lambs butchered actually last year because as long as I've known her, like never have they eaten lamb around there. I'm like, why are we raising these things? We're not even gonna eat them. Like,
That's kinda
let's
hypocritical.
let's eat these things. And we did that, and I'm not gonna lie, our freezer is basically cleaned out of lamb right now because it's
Really?
like lamb burger, like smash burgers.
Yeah.
So why aren't you guys with
Like, awesome.
farmer grade then? Well, you should guys be showing.
We need to get hooked up, Southeast Iowa.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right down there.
Yeah.
I'd buy some.
Yeah, no, it's It's good stuff. It
So
really
you
is.
guys have like leg of lamb now for like Easter and Christmas.
So I made a leg of lamb for Christmas last year. Yeah, and like I've done like the rack of lamb, so keep them so they're like little lollipops, at the rib because they're not big, right? A little chop is just tiny, but they are it's tasty stuff. That's for sure. So it's something about like basically why lamb really isn't preferred in the United States. It goes back to like World War I time frame when those guys all went overseas and we were just sending them like mutton to eat to survive during the war. And so when those guys came back from the war, mom was going to say, hey, I'm going to make some lamb tonight. And they're like, absolutely not, And so it was that perception that like really turned off the United States market on lamb. Cause I mean, like you get some of these South Africans guys working on farms and stuff, they'll hunt you down to get lamb.
There's a good name for your next sire. Tasty.
Tasty.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tasty
Put that one in
tacos.
your notes. Tasty.
Euros.
Tasty Euros.
I like it. Well, thanks again for coming to hang out. If people want to learn more about Corteva or nitrogen stabilizers, how best do they do that?
Yeah. Go to nitrogenstabilizers.com or nitrogenmaximizers.com. We'll get you to the Corteva's, or go to Corteva's website. Either way, you'll find our nitrogen stabilizer business there. So,
And if somebody's in the market for a club lamb, how do they find the family business?
yep, go to KeizerClubLambs.com.
KEITZER, clublambs.com. I had fun. Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was fun.
What do you tell the listeners?
Crack a cold one. You deserve it.
Farm for Profit podcast. Take a